Swarata. I welcome each and every media persons for this press conference. We have with us today
because election.
No, even otherwise.
we have with us today Sri S. Jaishankar, Assistant Minister of Social Affairs, Government of India. Sir, welcome to you, sir.
Whatever.
Welcome to you, sir. We also have with us Sri Ashok, Leader of Opposition, Karnataka, and former Deputy Chief Minister. Sir, Nimbu Swarata, sir. We also have with us Mr. C. Ashwath Narayan, former MLC and Chief Spokesperson BJP Karnataka. Sir, welcome to this conference. We also have Srimati Malavika Avinash, Vice President BJP Karnataka. Now, welcome to you too.
15 minute बोले.
I now request Sri S. Jaishankar to kindly take over the proceedings for this conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaskar to everybody. I'm very happy to be back again in Bengaluru. And I have today two programs. I think tomorrow two programs also. So I think it is very good that I'm beginning with the press, with the media. So great pleasure to see you all. Yesterday, I think all of you know that BJP released its Sankalp Patra, the manifesto. And what we have done in the manifesto is really to put out our record of 10 years, what we have achieved in the last 10 years, but also to put before the people what is our plan for the next 5 years after this election, where we hope very much that we will get the blessings of the people, and also a pathway for the next 25 years, which is how to create a blueprint, a pathway for Viksit Bharat. So all of that has been laid out in the manifesto. I think you can see in many ways that Modi's guarantee is the record of the last 10 years. It is also therefore a guarantee that the guarantee will be implemented for the next 5 years and further on create the pathway for the next 25 years. And if one looks at the last 10 years, you can see already 10 years ago we were among the fragile 5 economy. Today we are in the top 5 economy. We are not only growing, but the growth has also been inclusive. That if you look at the scale, the massive scale of the various programs, the yojanas and the initiatives, and Karnataka, people in Karnataka, like in every other state of India, have been major beneficiaries of this. That we have actually grown, but in a way in which we have carried every section of the population with us, whether it is the poor people, whether it is the young people, whether it is the farmers, whether it is women-led development. So that is one part of what we have done, and you can see this result today that 250 million, 25 crore people have come out of poverty in the last 10 years, which is really for us a record. The second very big challenge which happened in these 10 years, which we all know, has been COVID. That we have dealt with COVID. Not only by creating the infrastructure for that, but by also being among the first countries to actually make vaccines and invent vaccines and to get the vaccination done, because many countries, even developed countries, actually struggled to deal with COVID. Then you can see for the ordinary citizen how much actually the ease of living has improved their daily life, how much their infrastructure, particularly after the Gati Shakti initiative, how much the infrastructure today has grown, that this is today an India which is every day building 28 kilometers of highway and 14 kilometers of railway track. So if you look at the pace of the infrastructure, we are building 8 airports every year, 7 to 8 new airports every year. So this is something where actually the delivery of the Modi Sarkar has been very, very strong. And of course, the subject which I deal with very directly, which is our global standing, our global prestige, You can see, how we chaired the G20, how we actually helped to do vaccine Maitri with 100 countries, how we have actually looked after Indians, secured Indians who are living abroad through various operations. Many of them are people from Karnataka state also. Operation Ganga, Operation Kaveri, Operation Ajay have been in recent times. And how firmly we have actually countered the challenge of terrorism, cross-border terrorism, that it was not like what it used to be in the UPA days where we just accepted it and were helpless. Today, if there is cross-border terrorism, there is a very strong reply back to it. Now, in terms of the specifics of the manifesto, there is a lot out there, but I would particularly highlight some things which I think are very relevant to this election. One, of course, the fact that the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, which has been really giving free rations of 5 kilos of rice in this state to people. Today, 80 crore people in India benefit from it. It is not only necessary, for their food requirements, but actually very vital part of their nutrition. So there is a commitment here that this will be continued for 5 years more. Similarly, the Awas Yojana, which already across the country has created 4 crore houses. There is a target of increasing this by another 3 crores more. For every household, the electricity bill will come down by Surya Ghar Yojana, where there will be rooftop solarization and the benefits from that. In terms of health, because that is something particularly after COVID which is so important for people, all citizens above 70 will be eligible for free access to Ayushman Bharat, Jan Arogya Yojana, and also this very successful scheme of Jan Aushadhi Kendra, which I know in Bengaluru has really taken off quite well. We are committed to expanding it. In terms of support for employment, one, of course, with the Mudra loan amount, which is 10 lakhs, we will increase it to 20 lakhs. We will expand funding for startups. I think that is something which is very relevant in Bengaluru. But most important, there is a commitment to increase manufacturing, because I think many of you know that from the time our reform started in the 1990s till 2014, till Narendra Modi became Prime Minister, actually manufacturing was neglected. And today we have done a lot to increase the scale of manufacturing in this country. And we want to ensure that India becomes an electronics hub, it becomes a defense hub, it becomes a semiconductor hub, it becomes a space hub. We see in auto and electric vehicles. So this whole manufacturing, particularly sunrise sectors, is something where we see a lot of possibilities. I think it is also something which is very, very relevant to the youth of Karnataka. There is, of course, in the manifesto a commitment to a Surakshit Bharat, but on the economic side, we have again a very strong record to show to the country that today our exports are at a record high, but we want to take it forward. We want to get India connected to the global value chains. We want, as I said, to become, we are very confident that in the coming years we will emerge as the third largest economy, and this also will create many more employment possibilities. There is a big segment in the manifesto about foreign relations. I don't want to talk too much about it, because when foreign ministers talk about foreign relations, they don't stop very easily. So I just make the key points today, that today we are seen as a Vishwa Bandhu, that our global prestige is very high. We executed the G20 responsibility very well. On most major issues of the day, it is something, where what we say, the positions we take, all these really make an impact on the world. And we want today to emerge as a civilizational power. I had mentioned the segment on Surakshit Bharat, which is the defense, the security of India. Here, whether it is countering terrorism, or whether it is today safeguarding the border. We are today taking strong positions. The posture of the Modi government has been very, very clear. I think from 2014 onwards, and we have today new challenges which are coming up in terms of cyber, maritime, etc. Now, I just want to, from there, switch gears briefly, speak a little bit about Karnataka itself. I think for us, I spoke about infrastructure. I know today the foundation which has been laid for the suburban railway with a commitment of 16,000 crores will have an enormous impact on Bengaluru as it is completed. I also recognize today the second terminal at the Kempagoda International Airport and the second runway there. In the last few years, two Vande Bharat trains have been started in Bengaluru. I think in Karnataka, I think one from Bengaluru to Belgavi, I think one from Chennai to Mysuru. On the highway side, on electronics, again, because this is very much a city of IT, it is a city of electronics. I think the boost that we are going to give to semiconductors and the additional electronic clusters that we are going to build across the country, including more in Karnataka, I think that is something which is very important. I also know from my own past personal association, this has been very much a pioneering city for manufacturing innovation in India. That this is a city which boasts of HAL, which boasts of BHEL, which boasts of BEL, which boasts of BEML, so which boasts of ITI. So I know this city. I have lived in this city. I have an association with this city. And today, one of the points we would make, when we speak about Make in India, that HAL share price, I think today, the same HAL 5 years ago, which people said you are in danger. Today, HAL's work order is full. Its share price is at, I think, 3,600 and something today. So what I want to say is two things at the end of it all, which is that one, in terms of our own national progress, I think it's very important that we have a government with a strong majority, which will continue to carry out reforms, which will take bold measures, which will be able to think big, which will be able to meet the aspirations of the poorest persons through the yojanas, but also the aspirations of the youth, so that we are not left behind, so that the industries which are rest of the world, because we are today moving into an age of IT and AI and chips and electric vehicles and solar. So for this age, there is a lot of new opportunities there. We believe that a forward-looking government which will look not only 5 years but has a pathway beyond, this government should have its hands strengthened. Prime Minister Modi must have his hands strengthened by more members of parliament from different parts of India. And secondly, when I look at the international situation as a foreign minister, today we have one conflict in Ukraine, one conflict in Israel, Gaza. We are looking at tension in the Red Sea area, in the Arabian Sea area. We are having challenges in the Indo-Pacific, lot of challenges on boundaries of different countries in Asia. So it's going to be a very difficult, I would say, years ahead. For such a period, we need an experienced leader. We need somebody who has global understanding, who has global respect, and that is Prime Minister Modi. So I will, therefore, the message with which I have come to Bengaluru, to Karnataka, is Mattome Modi. Thank you very much.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಿದಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಹೆಸರು. ಐ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಟು ಕೈಂಡ್ಲಿ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ದಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. ಯಾರು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Sir, hi, sir. Nagarjun from India today. I think you spoke to the Tehran counterpart on 17 Indians who are on the seized ship. What is the update on it, sir? How soon are the Indian officials going to meet these Indian men or crew on board?
You know, you are aware that when we speak about Modi ki guarantee is inside the country, Modi ki guarantee is outside the country. Whenever any Indian travels abroad, this guarantee Modi gives. I mean, they can take the travel insurance, but they get a free guarantee from Modi. Okay? The free guarantee from Modi is whatever trouble you are in, we are there for you. So, and we have shown it. We have shown it in Ukraine, we showed it in Sudan, we have shown it repeatedly during COVID. Now, these people were on a Portugal flag ship. The ship was taken over in the seas by an Iranian force. The ship was directed to then proceed to Iran. Yesterday night, I spoke to my Iranian counterpart. I pressed him. I said, there are 17 crew members from India, and it is, we are making the point to the Iranian government that these people should be released, that they should not be detained. I understand, and after that there have been some follow-up conversations between our embassy and the Iranian authorities. I'm getting some reports, but for me, until first point is, I want our embassy people to actually go there and meet these people. That is when that will be my first point of satisfaction. Secondly, I would like, I would absolutely press for these people to come back to India as quickly as we can. I'm quite, my colleague, at least Iranian counterpart, was quite responsive. He said, okay, I understand it. I will try and do something to help you.
Ravindra Rishme.
Ravindra Rishme. Sir, the biggest moral, political and ethical challenge confronting your party in Karnataka is the guarantee politics, which has now been nationalized. And this direct cash transfer to women voters and youth, graduate youth. Perhaps it is going to be universalization of corruption of the voters. You have a Reserve Bank and the currency note printing press at your command. Suppose if you also join this competitive populism, what would these governments do? What would these regional parties do? There is a total absence of counter narrative. This is going to be the toughest challenge for your party in Karnataka.
Well, first of all, what our programs in many ways are national. Of course, many programs have a state version of it. So, I don't agree with you when you describe it as competitive populism. I think there is competitive populism. Competitive populism is when you make promises which you know you cannot deliver, and then you cannot deliver, and that is exactly what we are seeing in Karnataka. We are seeing competitive populism at the state government level. But do not confuse this with what the programs have been done by the central government. Because I give you an answer. Look, I was a member of the cabinet. I was part of a group of ministers who dealt with COVID. When we dealt with COVID, one of the big issues we looked at was 100 years ago when Spanish flu came, more people in India died of starvation than they died of the flu. So when we looked at COVID, we saw many people going back to their homes. We cannot let them be without food. Now, if I am giving 5 kilograms of free rice or wheat or whatever it is, and dal, and from time to time other things, this is not populism. This is a basic obligation of a government to its people. Similarly, look at housing. There are many people who cannot today afford to have their houses. We have in the last 10 years built 4 crore houses for 20 crore people. Now, for these people, they would have never been able to achieve those a roof over their heads. Today, as part of Jal Jeevan Mission, we have connected in Jal Jeevan Mission 14 crore people, 140 million people to Jal Jeevan, to piped water. Piped water cannot be populism. Piped water is the right of a citizen. So, please let me finish. I think there is a difference between what are the considered rights which a government evaluates very carefully on the basis of its financial resources. Where the central government is concerned, the central government has been very careful. You notice today our fiscal deficit numbers, you look at our inflation, So I don't think anybody can accuse central government of being populist. I think what you are seeing is irresponsible promises made at a state level by some state government. Please do not compare the two. We are a different party. The party here ruling today is a very different party. Next. No, I'm not in a debate.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. One, Ibrahim from Times Now.
Sir, what do you have to say about the attack by Iran on Israel? What is your best stand on that? I have two more questions. So second question is that Congress has given ticket to Kanhaiya Kumar. BJP has been accusing him of being part of the Today gang. What's his status? Third, sir, when will the US consulate open in Bangalore?
Actually, when I was listing all that we have done in 10 years, I'm glad you reminded me. Because I think particularly as a foreign minister, I think that is one of the important achievements that we have. Certainly when I come to Bengaluru, it's an achievement I should tout here. We are tracking the establishment of that consulate. What I heard from the American side is they have to go through a certain process where they have to resource it and get the approvals. I think they are moving along that. I am there to constantly remind them that this consulate should be done quickly, because I tell them whenever you do the consulate, I would like to come here on behalf of Prime Minister Modi, because this was a request which Prime Minister Modi had got done when he went on a state visit to America in June last year. On your second question, about an individual who may be a candidate. Look, it's not for me to talk about individual candidates. I think every candidate has a record. I think at a time of election, people look at the record. And by the way, every party has a record. So if a party actually opposes the abrogation of 370, but doesn't have the courage to mention it in its manifesto, if a party which is soft on terrorism, which actually said after 26/11 happened, we weighed the plus and minus and decided best thing is not to attack, because not to attack was better policy than to attack. So if you have a weak record on Kashmir, if you have a weak record on counter-terrorism, then naturally the selections would reflect what is the core thinking of the party. So I will leave it at that. On the Iran-Israel issue, look, we have been telling both of them, saying please do not allow this to escalate. That this is a very, very crucial region for the global economy. For India today, there are today almost 1 crore, 90 lakh Indian citizens who live in this part of the world. A large part of our shipping passes through this part of the world. Our oil comes from this part of the world. So this is a enormously sensitive region. So we are very concerned when there is this kind of escalation in hostilities. So our effort has been to tell both of them to calm down. So yesterday I made a phone call to both, not only Iran, I also called up my Israeli counterpart. So we also understand that they have concerns. So I'm not saying that there isn't a ground for today the countries involved. I'm only saying that for the rest of the world, and definitely for India, we would like to find ways of de-escalating the situation, urging them to get back to what it is. I'm hopeful that it will go in that direction.
Thank you. Perfect. Masud from Public TV.
मेरे दो सवाल है। एक, अभी तक ड्राफ्ट रिलीज नहीं आया है, इस बारे में कर्नाटक के पीपल को क्या बोलेंगे? तो
Sorry, क्या नहीं आया? ड्राफ्ट रिलीफ
कर्नाटक का
हाँ
अभी तक नहीं आया है। ऑलरेडी 5 मंथ है कर्नाटक मेमोरेंडम भेज के, अभी तक नहीं आया। इस बारे में क्या बोलेंगे? एक। दूसरा सवाल यह है कि बीजेपी के कैंपेन में पीओके वापस लेने के बारे में कैंपेन में बात आती जाती है, लेकिन संकल्प पत्र में इस बारे में कुछ नहीं बताया, क्यों?
अच्छा, so मैं हिंदी में कहूँ या had a I know the same issue came up when Finance Minister Nirmala ji was here. Okay, so I think you are trying your luck so that you get different answer from me, and you won't get a different answer. So let me tell you one thing. Who has responsibility for drought relief? the responsibility for drought relief is with the state drought relief fund. And there is a central component, and the central component was given. What over and above the drought relief, whenever there is a natural disaster, it can be drought, can be flood, can be cyclone, then the national NDRF also can consider, after evaluating the circumstances, to give additional resources. So at this time, the NDRF has made a decision not only about Karnataka, about some other states also, and it is waiting for the approval of the election commission so that we can proceed with that basis, because right now we are in the middle of election. What I want to say right now is, if the primary responsibility is the state government should not shift the responsibility onto the central government. The state government should not misrepresent what is the duty of the state and what is the duty of the center, because that is what we are seeing. We are seeing misrepresentation. I think Nirmala ji made the position very, very clear, but if any of you have any doubts, I hope what I said has made it even clearer. So that was with regard to the drought relief issue. Regarding Pakistan occupied Kashmir, you see, on Pakistan occupied Kashmir, I don't want to go into how POK happened. We all know what happened in 1949, under which government we agreed to a ceasefire, who made the mistake of going to UN. That is history. Okay, so we have a situation. The Parliament of India unanimously has passed a resolution to which everybody, every citizen, every political party of this country is committed to, which is that POK is part of India. So when it is so clear, I think it is self-evident. What I think is interesting to note now is the same POK which was first allowed to happen in the 1940s, which then went out of public discourse, which in 1990s there was a parliament resolution, which again went out of public discourse between 2004 and 2014. In fact, there were discussions which were going on with Pakistan at that time. And whenever those discussions become public, you will see very little of the discussion is about POK. The UPA was discussing about Jammu and Kashmir. It was not discussing about POK. But put that aside. Right now, I would say what is most important is that POK is back in the public discourse. The very fact you are asking me a question shows that Modi Sarkar has actually today led a change of mindset in this country. So thank you for spreading that awareness, and I hope that many more of you will take a strong nationalistic posture when it comes to issues of India's interest.
Akash from ANI.
सर आकाश फ्रॉम एएनआई, आप इस बार में आपका एक स्लोगन है, इस बार मोदी 400 पार वोट, बीजेपी 400 पार, मोदी 400 पार। वही स्लोगन को लेकर कांग्रेस की तरफ से बहुत सारे स्टेटमेंट आ रहे हैं कि अगर बीजेपी इस बार 400 पार हो गई तो संविधान बदल देंगे। संविधान बदलने के लिए पार्लियामेंट में बीजेपी को 400 नंबर्स चाहिए, इसीलिए वो 400 पार करे। कुछ स्टेटमेंट कांग्रेस की तरफ से, इसके ऊपर आपका क्या स्टेटमेंट है?
चलो, खुशी की बात है, कम से कम वो माने कि हम 400 पार पास करेंगे ना। So the question is asking is Congress party is worried that this time we will cross 400. I think they have reason to be worried that we will cross 400, but not for the use with which we will put 400. We will put that 400 to use by taking the country forward, by following the Sankalp Patra that we have laid out, by taking the steps that we need to do to accelerate development and growth and inclusive growth in this country, by bringing in, by modernizing the infrastructure, by making sure fruits of development reach everybody. So I think we have seen Modi Sarkar at 200 and below 300. We have seen Modi Sarkar above 300. When you see Modi Sarkar at 400, we will do even more service to the public of India.
To be very optimistic, taking out optimism from each of these questions. First and foremost, looking at the Congress manifesto now, they're planning to revisit certain provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act.
and it looks like they are going ahead to try to dilute it. Secondly, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has stated that India will not accept the fact of one leader for the entire nation and one language for the entire nation. Your statements and your take on it.
First of all, if you look at this young gentleman's question, Congress party is worried we'll cross 400. If we cross 400, what is the relevance of the Congress manifesto? A piece of paper, no? So don't bother. Read our manifesto. That is more important. Secondly, the idea. How can you say we want? Our nation has a prime minister. The prime minister of India, whichever the party, whoever the person, starting from Jawaharlal Nehru till Narendra Modi, the prime minister of India is the leader of the nation. How can anybody make a statement that we will not accept one leader? Now you can make a statement if you are Rahul Gandhi, who disrespected his own prime minister Manmohan Singh during the UPA time. Because if you think you are bigger than the prime minister, because the party is actually a family-owned enterprise, then you can make a statement like this. But I'm sorry, the rest of us, we are people who believe in the constitution. For us, whoever is the prime minister, a prime minister of India is the prime minister of India. He is the nationally accepted leader of India, and I find any statement to the contrary to be completely unacceptable. And I think most people in India would join me in this.
Narayan sir.
So we are now seeing Ukraine war, then Israel, Gaza, and yesterday, as I said, Israel and Iran. And you also spoke about the difficulties. But considering the fundamentals of our country's economy, do you think that this will have an effect or impact on India economically or all other factors, especially yesterday's tension which is going on?
No, look, when you have challenges, in a globalized world, no country can be safe from big challenges. So what happens when there is challenge? You have to prepare for the challenge, and when you come to the challenge, you have frankly the guts to take the right decision. Okay? I am putting it to you that in the Modi government, I have the Prime Minister who has the guts, and I have a Prime Minister who is constantly telling this nation to prepare. I'll give you an example. If we had not had the guts to buy oil from Russia, all of you would have paid, I don't know, maybe another 20 rupees more for the petrol that you would have been filling in your tanks. It may have been a foreign policy decision, but every citizen of this country was actually impacted by it. So today, and I can give you many more decisions like this, that today, even if you look at, we are here in Karnataka, in Bengaluru, I think more than any other city in the world, the importance today of technology collaborations, of foreign investments, of today making India a design hub or an engineering hub. Now, how does that happen? It happens because we build good relations, trusted relations with other countries, and other countries say, okay, this India is a good partner. So today, after years, today, in 2007, Intel came to India saying we want to set up a foundry in this country, and we did not agree, and they went to China and Vietnam instead. So today, after 15 years, 17 years, we are actually rectifying that mistake, that you have today with the Taiwanese company the establishment of a foundry. We are looking, in fact, at the entire semiconductor chain. But people will only come if they trust you, if there is a strong diplomatic connection with you. So we have to make, in a difficult world, we have to make the preparations, we should have the friends, we should have the courage to have the right decisions, make the right decisions. I think that's exactly why we are telling people, please vote keeping in mind a very difficult world. Please make sure you have a Prime Minister whose hands are strengthened by 400 par? That is the answer.
Okay, thank you. Irena from TV9.
Ma'am, Karuna.
Irena.
लास्ट 3.5 months में अमेरिका में इंडियन स्टूडेंट्स और इंडियन पीपल सीरीज ऑफ डेथ हो रहे हैं. ये किसके लिए है सर? लाइक इंडियन पीपल को स्केयर हो रहा है.
जो आप कह रहे हैं मैं भी जानता हूँ. आई थिंक obviously in every case wherever anything unfortunate has happened to the student, it is something which is of deep a great tragedy for the family, and a big concern for us. But what I want to say, in every case, our embassy or consulate has looked at the case, and they are actually unconnected. Somebody had a personal issue, somebody had an accident, somebody was unfortunately murdered in Chicago. I think it was a murder case. So each one has been different. I think people today are more aware, conscious. Also maybe the number of Indian students are also today strong enough, but I do share that worry. So even if they are unconnected, we have told all the embassies, please keep the closest touch with the students. Whenever new students come, embassy people should go, talk to them, tell them in many cities, because there are some cities you have to tell people, saying don't go to that area, don't go at this time of the thing, don't take foolish risks. So we are today, because we have today a lot of students abroad, totally there would be 11 to 12 lakh Indian students abroad in different countries. So we keep today student welfare as a very important, like I said, every Indian going out, you have Modi's guarantee, but student welfare is particularly important for us, and we are working at it.
Okay. Bala Chavan from New Delhi Press. Already last question. 1 minute. Bala Chavan, 1 minute. Already I don't know. Bala Chavan, please be done.
Good afternoon. There are a couple of questions that I would like to ask. One is, according to your assessment, because this time we are seeing a lot of push from the BJP in south of India, south of India. So what is your expectation? Question number one. Second thing is that when we talk about Prime Minister Modi as a strong leader, I think we have a very, very strong EAM as well. So post-elections, the world is going through a very turbulent phase worldwide. I mean, we hope that Middle East settles down. Do you see the task for the next EAM, perhaps, I do not know if you would like to take it up, will that be a very difficult task forward? This is the second question that I would like to ask.
Okay. Sure. What are BJP's prospects in the south?
Yeah.
I think the gentleman there used the word. I think we are genuinely optimistic. We are optimistic because if you look today at the kind of response that Prime Minister Modi is getting from the public, including in states, in Karnataka, BJP has long been established. But I would say particularly, even in Telangana, we have a good hold. But particularly Tamil Nadu and Kerala, I think we are seeing a very strong public response. We are also seeing a very good feel about the candidates whom we have put forward. And I think most important, these states, like the rest of the country, we are not here saying we seek your support because we have a great manifesto. We have a great manifesto, that's a different matter. But we are here to say, look, we are seeking your support because we have a 10-year solid record of delivery. And 10 years, some of which have been very difficult. We have delivered, as I said, we have delivered on food, we have delivered on electricity, we delivered on house, we delivered on water, we delivered on infrastructure, we delivered on education. So when you look at our record, so what we are saying is strengthen our hands, we have bigger things to do as a nation. And I think people of these states, they also are very much part of all that has happened in the last 10 years. Every program that I am telling you about, that program has also impacted in Tamil Nadu and in Kerala. So I think it's had a impact on people's thinking. So we are very hopeful that in this election we will see that translate into support to send representatives to strengthen Modi ji's hand in Delhi. Regarding the, how to handle the world, look, it's not a question of, which AM or how does it work. There is a government led by a prime minister, and we are very cognizant. The next few years, I'll be very honest, are going to be very difficult years. They're going to be difficult years because everywhere you see, actually India is an oasis of stability. That if you look at any other part of the world and you say, well, how are you compared to 5 years ago, 10 years ago? There are very few parts of the world who will say, like we can say today, that we are better off than we were 10 years ago. So it is today, we have been, in a sense, we have progressed, but we have secured ourselves. We have built, capacities which will keep stable in a very difficult situation. But that should not blind us to the fact that there will be very big challenges. And as I said, for this you need experienced and courageous Prime Minister, as well as obviously a team in which he has confidence.
So,
Dinakaran from Puttur.
So, first of all, thanks to Jason sir. Modi ji, the Ramar Koil problem solved. Kashmir problem solved.
Okay.
On the same serial, our Kachativu and the Tamil fisherman problem, when will be solved, sir?
We shall ever get it.
No. Look, I think you should not compare these issues. Each one is a different issue. As you said, the Ramar Kovil issue, it's an issue of 500 years. It's a totally to me, it is the biggest thing which has happened in my life. And I think very large number of people in the country would say that something which we actually never thought would happen has happened. So yes, my answer to your question is why I started with the manifesto. We are a party we take our manifesto very seriously. This manifesto, Rajnath ji headed the committee. So many people gave their input. Prime Minister himself sat down in all this thing and spent time, in finalizing what the manifesto is. And if you look at our manifesto, what I want to say is, whatever we say in the manifesto, we will do. I'm so glad you brought up the Article 370 issue. You brought up the Ramar Kovil issue. You brought up you didn't bring it up, but CAA is another issue. So, and good governance, digital. So, do look, our promises are for real. What you see is what you get. So, please look at that manifesto and keep your faith in us very strong.
Thank you, sir. Last question. Maruti Bhagwat from
Sir, I have a
Istar.
counter
One
question,
minute.
sir.
One minute. Maruti Bhagwat from
I've
Istar.
been raising my hand, he's been doing stepmotherly treatment to me.
No.
Three follow-up questions. I only asked one, sir. A lot of media reports have mentioned about FM and EAM contesting elections. To be very honest, the Bangalore candidates were rattled reading that news. But FM agreed on record that the party did approach her, but she said she doesn't have that much money to contest. Did the party ever approach you also to contest?
No, look, we all do what the party obviously thinks we are best placed to do. In my case, the party feels that I am very useful in putting across our point of view in different states. In the last few days, I have been in Mizoram, Rajasthan, Kerala, Gujarat, before that northern Karnataka. If I were contesting a Lok Sabha seat, I would not be able to do it. So I think party has a use for me. I respect, obviously I respect that as the direction I get from the party. So I assure you that we have excellent candidates in Bengaluru, better than us. So my point would be that these are all people who have represented Karnataka. Some of them are representing right now. So I'm very confident that the people of Karnataka will see both the merits of the candidates as well as the value in sending members of parliament to Lok Sabha to strengthen the hands of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, so that what we have promised in the manifesto we will get done in Modi 3.0.
Last question, Maruti Power from Vistara TV.
Sir, some BJP senior leaders unhappy with BJP recommendation, like Ishwarappa, Sadananda Gowda, Sangana Kadi, Narayan Swamy. It is also a debatable issue in Karnataka. And also, Vakaliga leaders neglected by BJP, it is also debatable. Is it not? It is issue. How you come from this issue?
You see, BJP is a disciplined party. In every election, in every election, everybody cannot be a candidate. So I think at the end of the day, people will realize that there is a larger cause for which we are working. And my sense is that whatever concerns people have, they will sort themselves out, because this election is an extraordinarily important election, because we have 10 years of foundation. After 10 years of foundation, we can do really big things in the third term. So people should understand today that this is not just another election, it is something almost historic. So I'm sure that understanding will come.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, sir, Devendra sir, for being part of this press conference. Thank you, Mr. Ashok. Thank you, Ashok. Thank you, Madhu. Thanks a lot.